Hi everybody and welcome back to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. This post is from the subreddit Relationship Advice and it's by user Lurkandtaway85. My 38 female sister, 34 female, made up a dead brother to her spouse, 35 male, and in-law, 60s male and female. I accidentally outed the lie, but why am I the bad guy here? Usually a lurker, but something happened tonight that has me incredibly confused. Apologies in advance for the length. Backstory. I'm the eldest of 4 sisters. We're stair-stepped, 2 years apart. I'm Meg, 38, Joe is 36, Beth is 34, and Amy is 32. Our parents used to joke about how they kept trying for a boy, but finally gave up after girl number 4. Not gonna lie, it hurts our feelings a little, especially Amy. But they stopped that and assured us they wouldn't change anything. Everyone has at least one daughter. I am the only sister that has a son. At 17, he's the eldest grandchild, and I'm fairly certain he's my dad's favorite person in the world. They are best friends, it's adorable. Okay, now that you have the backstory and family story, let's talk about tonight. My son, who is very intelligent and absolutely crushed high school, recently received his acceptance letter to a very prestigious university. Full ride. We are incredibly proud. My folks wanted to throw him a little congratulatory party, and tonight worked for all of our schedules, which is no small feat for different families with 11 kids between them. So we all headed to the folks' house for pizza and cake. At one point, Amy brought up that it is Sibling Appreciation Day, and Mom said she wanted all of her girls to say what we appreciate about our sisters, and we go from youngest to eldest. Most of the compliments went to me as I was kind of a second mom to them. I told each of my sisters how much I love them among other things, and then finished my speech of saying something like, "And I really appreciate that we didn't have any gross boys stinking up our house." All of us, but Beth and her husband, laugh. Beth's eyes got really big and her husband, Chase, looked at me like I was saying something he scraped off the bottom of his shoe. Suddenly he says, "That's really effed up." I said something like, "I don't know, Chase, I smelled you after workouts, it's pretty bad." And he got even more mad and said, "How could you talk about Tyler like that?" And Beth starts losing her mind, guys. She's grabbing him by the arm and begging him to hush, saying they need to go home now, etc. So naturally, I'm like, who is Tyler? Well, friends, apparently, Tyler is Beth's twin that died during childbirth. In this version of events, Tyler's death made our folks and us so depressed that nobody is allowed to speak of him or reference him ever. Beth forbade him from ever mentioning to any family member. After Chase told us this, nobody said a word. It was so damn tense. Finally, I just kind of bluntly said, "I'm not sure why, but Beth lied to you about this. I think you guys should talk about it, but I don't want to hear anything else about this tonight as we're here to celebrate my son." After that, Beth burst into tears and ran into her old bedroom with Chase, Mom, and Joe following her. The party never fully recovered and they took off pretty shortly after that. I stayed behind to help clean and so my dad and son could hang out some more. While I'm doing the dishes, my mom scolded me pretty harshly about calling Beth a liar. "If the baby shoe fits, mother." My dad said I wasn't wrong, but I embarrassed Beth. What the hell was I supposed to do? I was getting chastised over a lie. Absolutely not. Beth also texted me that I effed her over, and a text from Chase's phone told me I was the actual liar, sister, and everyone knows that. Amy is on my side, but she and Beth always butted heads. Joe claims she's neutral, but she also told me I didn't have to call her out like that. What the hell was I supposed to do? Just take the lashing? And why is everyone acting like me calling out what I consider to be a pretty heavy lie is worse than the lie itself? How do we resolve this situation? I love my sisters so damn much. They are my best friends. But this is so weird and so wrong to put on me. Not the a-hole, OP. You uncovered a lie you didn't even know was there. That doesn't make you cruel, it makes you honest under pressure. Beth is the one who lied. Why? Who knows? But it's ridiculous of her to get mad at you for outing her. You were making a joke about sisters growing up with brothers. You didn't cross a line. She built a secret one and blamed you when you tripped over it. Could you have handled it more delicately? Maybe, but you were ambushed, publicly accused, and responded in the moment. The real problem isn't your reaction, it's the years-long lie Beth let sit. Still, if your goal is peace, no pride, here's what I would do. Reach out to Beth. Tell her you didn't mean to humiliate her, but you won't take the fall for a lie she created. You're open to clearing the air, but only if she owns what she did and the truth is on the table. And what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section, and now let's check out the community comments. Trish SF says, I can't imagine any other response. I really can't. Were you seriously expected to lie along with her? I think that is shocking. And OP responds, I have no idea what she was expecting. I have lied for her before, but saying she's at my house while she's really getting boudoir photos done for him is not the same as lying about a whole person who never existed. It's beyond bizarre. Unsolicited Advice 13 says, your sister dug herself in a weird hole, is now mad she has to dig her way out of it, and is placing that anger on you for accidentally handing her the shovel. If she wants to blame anyone for being caught in a lie, she can look in the mirror. How do you fix it? Your sister has to pull her head out of her ass and apologize for putting you all in that position. And then you can think about apologizing for being blunt about it. But to be honest, I don't feel you did anything wrong exactly here. You had no idea what was going on, why you were being accused of being a bad person, and literally just wanted to focus back on your son's achievements. It's not like you accidentally spilled a secret you were supposed to keep. Your sister created this entire mess and should probably explain to you guys why she did it. Jen5872 says, I'm kind of impressed that after all of that, she managed to convince her husband that you were the liar. Of course, if he still believes her, he's dumb as a brick. I'd think there is proof enough on her birth certificate as it will state she was a single birth. And Dopey responds, I will say, Chase is not a dummy and he's typically not malicious, and although nobody really backed me up about this being a lie, at least not in front of me, I think it's pretty obvious that I was telling the truth, as everyone else was obviously confused and dead silent in the moment. I have not responded to the texts, as I'm not looking to burn bridges. I've made many mistakes, and my sisters have graciously forgiven me. I'm just flummoxed and a little hurt. And Legitimate Towel 534 says, this is very weird. I'm confused at why your parents aren't embarrassed by your sister's behavior, especially trying to keep up the lie afterwards and saying you're lying. Is she mentally okay? Does she have a history of lying? And Opie responds, we all lied as kids, but I assumed she grew out of it as an adult. We also all exhibited some attention-seeking behavior, but again, age-appropriate, especially for a family with 4 kids and 2 parents who worked full-time. My parents are hippies and very much live and let live kind of vibe. But this feels icky to me, so I'm a little surprised they're not more upset about it. Then again, they never punished us in front of each other, so they could be dealing with or planning to deal with the situation behind the scenes. Either way, Beth is way too old to be making up dead sibling stories. Alright, well, the community agrees that OP is not the a-hole, so let's move on to the update to see how the story ends. Okay, I think we have some answers regarding the events that occurred last night. I do want to tell everyone who took the time to give advice or kind words, thank you. I honestly couldn't read everything. I was and am exhausted, but I did get an idea of how I wanted to approach everything. Thanks to the advice given. I'll get to the update in a few. I just wanted to answer some frequently asked questions and comment real quick. 1. This is fake. I wish it was. I really wish my mind worked in a way where I could make things up like this. Alas, my imagination is lacking. 2. Your parents named you after Little Women? This is probably partially to blame for the fake comments. These are just placeholder names I used, as there are 4 sisters in that novel. My parents are hippies and gave us some pretty noticeable names. Tragedy names? Who knows? If I used our real names, on the off chance any of our friends read this, they'd know immediately this was our family. 3. Beth is continuing to lie and Chase is believing it, and your mom and Joe threw you under the bus too. Response: Chase, I think he knew I was being truthful. Also, I said the text came from his phone. I was actually thinking Beth sent it, and that's not Chase's vibe. About mom and Joe, they didn't throw me under the bus, but I'll go into more detail soon. 4. Is it possible my mom had twins and I just forgot or didn't know about the death? Absolutely not. I was at all of my sister's births. I don't remember Joe's, but I do remember Beth's and Amy's. And there were no multiples, no deaths, no funerals, no depression. 5. Your sister is mentally ill, also the golden child, and you're the scapegoat. I'm not about to say my sister is sick, but I do think she has some issues, as we all do. There's no golden child and scapegoat in this family. My parents were and are really good about treating all of us fairly and equally. 6. The birth certificate will prove it. It sure would, yes, but I'm not about to try to strong-arm my sister into showing her husband her birth certificate. And 7. You could have or should have been more tactful or pulled her aside and not call her a liar. Had I known that Tyler was my dead brother, I never would have asked who he was. Chase and I tease each other a lot, and I honestly thought he was about to come out with some kind of funny joke, a la these nuts. So in response to my lack of tact, I don't know. I think it's pretty lacking in tact to make up a whole dead sibling. And really, facts are facts. She lied, and that's that. The night was about my son. So I squashed the issue and chose to move forward, hoping to end the conversation with as little drama as possible. Okay, so now on to the update. After a night of barely sleeping and my blood pressure dangerously high, I called my mom this morning fully ready to let out an emotionally charged tirade about how I feel they unfairly threw me under the bus and took Beth's sides when she objectively did the worst thing. My mom answered the phone apologizing and asked me to just listen. When she and Joe followed Beth and Chase to Beth's room, Mom did tell Chase that Tyler was not real and this is an issue between her and Chase and they should probably leave because she didn't want the evening ruined. She did get on to me, but it was mostly out of sympathy and empathy for Beth, and she recognized it wasn't okay. She apologized for that. She spoke with Chase this morning, and Beth, who is the one who sent me the text from Chase's phone, finally came clean early this morning, after hours of denying the lie. Something I didn't mention, as I didn't feel it was pertinent to the story, is Beth's eldest daughter, Em, isn't Chase's biological daughter. He's been around since Em was 2. Also kind of pertinent is that Chase is a first responder. He loves to be a hero, and he's very good in that role. He met Beth doing victims advocacy, and as such, I believe they both view him as saving Beth. This has long been speculated, but it's not exactly our place to say anything, and we all love Chase. He is an amazing person, and Beth is no dummy. She picked up on Chase's hero complex immediately. It appears that in an effort to make herself look more sympathetic, vulnerable, broken, she lied about having a twin brother that died in childbirth. I guess being in an abusive relationship and having a small child just wasn't enough? She did not have to do that. They've been together 10 years now and not once did she come clean. To me, that proves a clear pattern of deceit and manipulation. However, I'm not going to speculate on her mental health problems or reasonings for not coming clean. That is for her and her husband to deal with. Neither of them have called or texted me to apologize, and I'm honestly unsure if they will. Beth is more of the rug-sweeping type, while I'm a confront issues head-on type. I will not be cutting my sister off for this though. I love her, and at the end of the day, I just want her to be happy and healthy. I do hope that this whole issue will cause her to rethink some of her life choices and maybe she can get some therapy. I think we could all use therapy, to be honest, but that's where we are right now. My mom did not offer any information about how Beth and Chase are doing, and I did not ask. It's not my business. I have not heard from Joe, but Amy and I have been texting all morning and she is being my best good friend right now and providing a lot of support. Hopefully, we can all move forward and grow together in the future. Thanks again for the support you all have sent my way. Well, OP, I have to say, between her lying and manipulation and his hero complex, that relationship, I don't know. Hopefully it works out, I don't know. But whatever happens, it's got nothing to do with you. So here's wishing you the best in the future, OP. Thanks for sharing and take care. And now, let's move on to the next post that also has an update. This post is from the subreddit Am I Overreacting? And it's by user Aria Flimsy. Am I overreacting for locking up my snacks because my roommate kept stealing them? I, 19 female, live in an apartment with 2 other girls. For the most part, it's chill. Except one of them, let's call her Kayla, has this habit of eating everyone's food and then pretending she didn't. Like, girl, it's not a ghost stealing my hot Cheetos. At first, I was nice about it. I'd label my stuff, gently remind her, even offered to split groceries once. She always hit me with, OMG, my bad, I thought it was mine. But this girl doesn't even buy hot Cheetos, like ever. So, last week, I got fed up and bought a little lockbox for the pantry and put all my snacks inside. Petty? Maybe, but I work and pay for my own groceries. I'm not feeding a freeloading gremlin. Now she's sulking and telling people I'm treating her like a thief and making the house tense. Our other roommate says I probably should have just talked to her again, but how many friendly chats do I need to have before it's not my job to babysit the damn Oreos? So, am I overreacting? Not at all, OP. She's now sulking and she's the one making the house tense because she doesn't get to eat your snacks anymore. Also, because it's a pretty firm message that if you need to lock something up, it's because somebody's not respecting a boundary. Maybe she feels humiliated by the truth? I don't know. Whatever it is, OP, it's not your job to make her feel good about her stealing your food. You're not overreacting and keep the box. And what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section, and now let's check out the community comments. Gold Guava 5194 says, I don't think you're overreacting, especially if you have already had a talk with her. She should be respecting your belongings, and that includes food items that you bought with your own money. OK Marsupial 8725 says, not overreacting. It's your food and you have all the rights to store it however you want because you're paying for it. Your roommate is trying to make you the villain when clearly she can't keep your hands off of your snacks. Ituzem says, actually, you're not treating her like a thief. You are helping her to not mistake your food for hers. Labels don't help, and surely she feels bad after she realizes that the food she ate was yours, because she is not a thief. Now the problem is solved and she can be happy. There's no risk of mistake. Why is she not happy? And Salty Reputation 163 says, yeesh, a lockbox is the nice option, not like you're rigging your snacks with mouse traps, which I've actually done. Freeloading housemate kept stealing my beer for almost a year. I warned him repeatedly, he didn't listen, started calling me nasty names, called me a floozy. So I put a loaded mousetrap in the beer box, never touched my beer again. Well, the community agrees that OP is not overreacting and she did right. Also, she got some good ideas like that mousetrap for beer thieves. Now let's move on to the update to see how this story ends. So, ever since I locked up my snacks, Kayla's been acting super weird. Not like full-blown mad, but giving me that energy. You know, when someone says they're fine, but they're slamming cabinets a little harder than usual? Yeah, that. She hasn't touched my stuff since, which is a win. But now, she keeps making these comments like, oh, I'd offer you some, but I don't want to get accused of stealing, anytime she eats something. And I'm just like, girl, please. Upside down smiley face. Our other roommate, bless her peacekeeping soul, tried to gently suggest that maybe I could take the lock off now that the point has been made. But I was like, nope, I don't trust people who act offended when you set a basic boundary. Honestly, the vibe's kinda tense, but also peaceful. My snacks are safe, my energy is unbothered, she even labeled her cereal the other day. So I guess the message really landed. Anyway, thanks for the support, heart. Turns out locking your hot Cheetos can lead to personal growth for everyone involved. Lol. Willoughby, your snacks continue to be safe and maybe she did learn, but still, keep the case. Take care, Opie, and thanks for sharing. And that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch it. Now, if you've gotten to this point in the video, I assume that you like these stories that I'm reading out. So here are a couple more that you might enjoy. And if you don't have any time to watch another story right now, save it for later. And also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.